What's up, guys? My name is Miles.
And my name is Fez.
And this is The Commodity. And today we're reacting to why you should watch the, sorry if I mispronounce it, Bathurst 1000. This is an IndyCar race, I believe. And this video was recommended by Deltas Goal or Joel. I'm not quite sure.
G-O-E-L?
G-O-E-L. Recommended to us in our Discord. If you guys would like a shout out and watch us react to a video that you recommend to us, go ahead and hop down into the description, click on our Discord link, go to the video suggestion tab, and submit your links that you want us to check out. Guys, before we hop into this video, if you would, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps us get these videos out to more people, and it's super important to us. It only takes a second. Also, if you could, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. That way you guys can stay informed on our future videos. And if you want to help support the channel even more, you can click the join button down below. So let's check out why we should watch the Bathurst 1000.
Yeah. So before we actually even hit the play button, I'm going to have this screen pulled up. Why does it say Indianapolis 500?
Where does it say that?
On the trophy itself. Because it's the NTT IndyCar series, but it's in Bathurst or Bathurst.
Yeah, let us know.
They'll probably tell us in the video. I'm just questioning it before we jump in.
Yeah.
Throw down
That's
a
a
list
cool
of the
trophy.
great races and you'll no doubt get the likes of the Indy 500 and 24-hour of Le Mans. But the one race that I look forward to is one that takes place on a hill in the middle of the worst state in Australia. Look, I'm sorry New South Wales, but you have this, this and this. But getting back on track here, the race in question is the Bogan Festival, Wales, but you have this, this and this.
Was that like a diss to that specific person?
Or like the team or the sport. Yeah.
Because if it's that specific person, I'd feel bad to be him. That's
He's got
kind
a
of
huge neck.
That's kind of rude.
Yeah.
But getting back on
unless
track
he's
here, the race
a
in
dick.
question
Yeah.
is the Bogan Festival, that is the Bathurst 1000, and will serve as
Bathurst.
the final round
Bathurst.
of this year's Supercars Championship. Now, I'm sure some of you will be wondering how this could compare with the likes of the Indy 500, Daytona 500, or the 24-hour Le Mans. Well, sit down, if you aren't already, and let me give you the skinny.
Okay, so the front screen just had nothing to do with anything.
Right.
In 1960, the Light Car Club of Australia organised a race called the Armstrong 500, which was being held at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit over 500 miles with standard production cars.
Wow.
It was divided.
I know it's a very common last name, but that's my ex-wife's maiden name, Armstrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was proud of it. And now that we're divorced, she kept my last name. So I'm like, suck it.
into classes based on engine capacity or price or the customer's hair color, but by 1962 the track surface was falling apart like Joe Soward in a heat wave, and thus the race needed
I don't know
a new
that
home,
reference,
and they
but I'm
found
sure
it
it's
at
funny.
the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst, New South Wales. The 3.9
Bathurst.
mile circuit hosted its first event in 1963. The race was extended from 500 miles to 1,000 kilometers in 1973 and also served as the 8th round of the World Touring Car Championship back in 1987. Nowadays, the 1,000 kilometer event is run as part of the popular Supercars Championship that is held throughout Australasia. Known as the Great Race down in this
Australasia.
part of the world, this event has seen some insane races and some spectacular moments in its history, and there is every reason why you should be watching this
not
event.
cool.
So
That was
I'm going to
dirty.
provide a rundown of this year's event and convince you as to why this is the great race. So as I've mentioned before, the race is held at the Mount Panorama circuit at Bathurst. This thing is regarded as one of the best race
I think it's
tracks
hard
in
without
the
the
world,
accent.
and having
Yeah.
made the trip to the venue over the last couple of years, there's good reason for it. The first turn drivers have to negotiate.
Okay, before we hop into this, I want to tell you that I learned something that actually people are always talking trash about.
What's that, mate?
That would be, I got to do it with the deep voice, like how like a lot of people try to do American accents. Hello. So what we're going to be talking about? Actually, that sounds British. Anyways, why we don't use the metric system? Because of pirates.
Really?
So when the metric system was first invented, we took we went and got the weights, the kilogram, and all these different weights and measuring systems, and we were bringing it back via boat, and pirates literally stole it all. And so at the same time, they were still kind of coming out with measurements, different types, and somebody had brought up the imperial system or the standard system, where and really the only difference is which I had no idea is I knew the metric system is based off of tens. So freezing is 0, boiling is 100, I believe is what it is. Where the US, the standard system is 32 and 220.
Boiling point's 220 or 225 or something like that.
I think it's 220. So yes, it is confusing, but the US only works in 12s, and so it kind of that's why, because the pirates robbed a boat that had all the measurements that we were going to start using in the metric system. And then there was an argument like, hey, the first landing on the moon was done in metric, which is actually not true either. Everything was done in standard. So I just thought that was really cool because I mean, we're talking about cars, and so everything's going to be especially in Australia, kilometers, all these things. I just thought it'd be cool for people to know why we don't use the metric system,
right?
And for some reason why we have, because I think the metric system's a fairly young system. But I thought that was a cool story. So sorry if y'all didn't.
It is Hell Corner. It's easy to get it wrong here, and if you do, you're going to have a real bad time. It's also vital to get a good exit out of this corner for a good run up Mountain Straight, the second longest straight on the circuit. The cars will become slightly airborne over the hump before heading into the negatively cambered Griffin's Bend. But be careful not to stray too far offline here, otherwise you're going to smack.
These are all Mustangs that are wrecking.
Yeah.
This is very
stereotyped.
stereotype.
1 in 6 gradient exit, and trust me, it's a bastard to walk up. But with the cars, it's even more precarious, as any wrong footing will lead to big problems. That incident? Well, to explain what happened here,
Mustang
I've drafted
driver.
in an Aussie to give you the lowdown.
Seriously, a lot can happen over the course of 1,000 kilometers. And a perfect example of this was in 2005, where two drivers would quite literally go head to head, but outside of the car. The two drivers, being Marcus Ambrose and Greg Murphy, would collide on lap 144 and leave behind what looked like a 8-cylinder car park behind them. Ambrose was ahead of Murphy of the exit of Griffin's, but quickly ended up sideways after being tagged by Murphy. Well, depending on how you look at it. Ambrose's car would then mount the barrier and almost look like it was going to fall over the other side into the bushland. After the two cars came to a stop, Murphy stood in front of his car as Ambrose got out and made his charge towards him, taking off his helmet, then his balaclava, and of course, his gloves. The two drivers had some friendly words, pointed fingers, and yelled at each other like two blokes having a disagreement at the pub. The legend of this moment will always be in my memory. Two blokes wanting to just beat the living daylights out of each other on a mountain out in the middle of nowhere in New South Wales. This to me is Australian motorsport in its prime.
Thank you very much, Gio, for coming along. So coming out of the car,
I thought they were going to be pissed because they took off the helmets.
That could be rather uneventful. However, the second right turn, you kind of need to get that right, otherwise you're in for a big ass crash. But if you do manage to crash in this section of the track, at least you'll be at peace of mind knowing that...
Does that picture sum up Australia?
It sums up West Texas.
Yeah, it does.
You're at the top of the mountain, and with the fine folk that camp at this section of the track.
Old
The next
mate's on
section of the track
fire.
is called Salmon Park, and this is where the track begins to edge a little more on the scary side. In fact, with it comes the shortest horror story in motor racing history, Wide at the Great. Why is this scary? Well...
Could not steer the car. Whitcup, Craig Loud, Singer replay. Steve Jobs, and it just got Taylor.
You say Steve Jobs.
Sounded like it.
That was a good
the cars
play.
will scream through McPhillamy Park, a fast section of the track with a panoramic view across Brock's skyline that reminds you how
There's a
bloody
U.
high you are. So imagine if Frank Montagny was driving. Then we begin to run down the hill, beginning with the S's. It's crucial that you slow down enough through this section, otherwise you're going to learn the hard way that car versus wall often leads to big ouch.
Wait, what kind of
There's
car
the
was
differ,
that?
but
Hold on, I want to go back. That may have
down
been
the
too
hill,
far.
beginning with the S's. It's crucial that...
Looks
Is
like
that
a
a Ford? At first I thought, I was like, man, this must be an old video because it looked like an Acura RDX back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Because of the little
Yeah.
What kind of Ford is that? I'm sure it's a Ford that we don't get because they don't make cars here anymore. So
Yeah.
Let you slow down enough through this section. Otherwise, you're going to learn the hard way that car versus wall often leads to big ouch. Then there's the dipper, basically the Aussie version of the corkscrew, only with this one there's no runoffs, and it's pretty scary. Coming out of the dipper, you then make the approach toward Forest Elbow, which is a prime overtaking opportunity, provided you do it right, before making the long run down Conrod Straight. Here, the cars get close to or
That's a
at
beautiful
300
car.
kilometers an hour. The
You know,
road
that looks
rises
like a
and falls
Nissan.
away as the cars build up speed.
At least the
For
logo
cars
looked like
behind,
it.
it's an opportunity to get into the draft and prepare for another move at the chase, which is another great opportunity for passing. The one
Yeah, I
thing
think
you
that
don't
was
want
a
at this
Nissan.
part of the track is a tyre failure. But guess what? That's happened here before.
Damn.
Exiting the chase leads you to the final corner at Murray's. A 90-degree corner, you say? Easy, you reckon? Yeah, tell that to Alexander Rossi. And therein is a lap of Mount Panorama, but really, me explaining it doesn't do justice.
This looks like a
you
tough track.
Alexander Rossi, I've heard that name before, and I'm not big on the motorsports side of things, but I know I've heard Rossi before. Maybe there's another driver. Maybe it's like Schumacher. There's a lot of Schumachers in racing.
This seems like a tough track.
You said you liked a Nissan. You said a Nissan was a beautiful car.
I said that vehicle was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Nissan.
That's fine. The paint job looked badass.
That's on you.
to witness these cars try and put
Can't shine a
650
turd.
horsepower to the ground on a track barely wide enough for luge
That's a
racing.
Ford.
As for the teams and drivers, if you're unfamiliar with any of these cats, I'll give you the skinny on some drivers of note. There is Scott McLaughlin, 3-time Supercars champion and the defending Bathurst 1000 winner. Craig Lowndes, 7-time winner on the mountain and 3-time Supercars champion. Jamie Whincup, 7-time Supercars
lot of
champion
Red
and
Bull.
4-time winner of the Great Race. In fact, overall, there are 11 people on the grid who have won the Bathurst 1000 race in the past. Although there will be plenty of people hungry for their first Bathurst title, including Toyota Racing Series champion Thomas
12
Riddle,
years
British
old.
Formula 4 champion Scott Pye, Blancpain GT Series and Supercars champion Shane Van Gisbergen, Japan F3 champion and Jaguar F1 test driver James Courtney, and Brody Kostecki, who is On a serious note, this guy's f***ing fast. The grid is sorted through a qualifying format where 11th
That was
place
so mean.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of it's like inside stuff
Yeah.
that we don't understand. Like he could be like the most crooked guy. or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Oh, that just came off as like a really low
Like
shot.
yeah,
downwards.
Let the man
is decided
defend
through
himself.
The first qualifying session, while the top 10 are decided in a one-lap shootout, which is one of the more spectacular parts of not just the weekend, but the entire season of Supercars racing. Pole position is not too bad, although not really vital. Since 1997, there have only been 5 occasions where the pole sitter took victory
4
at the end of
times.
the day.
I cannot
so there is a
math.
good chance that the fastest car on Saturday will not claim the Peter Brock Trophy on Sunday. So this year's race starts at 11:30 a.m. Aussie time on the 18th of October, and I beg and plead with anyone unfamiliar with this race to give it a watch. Or don't, and I could just go f*** myself. Or perhaps there are some people viewing this who have watched the race. What are your memories of this race? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that track seems super rough. I mean, obviously, you'd have anybody racing these cars is already super talented, but this race looks like you have to. I mean, you have to be super, super talented to get through it.
So one thing we've learned from a lot of our reactions and automotive videos that we used to do at the beginning is a lot of the Southeast Asia doesn't get the Mustang, or they do, but it's like literally like one.
It's not common.
Yeah. It's like us getting like, I don't know. I got no analogy because like a one-off type of car. Like they spend a lot of money to get it imported from a country where it's legal or something like that.
Right.
So do y'all get the Mustang? Because I know y'all used to have the Ford Falcon, which was literally the Ford Mustang just with rebadged
Right.
for Australia. So let me know down in the section below.
Any section, not anything, not a specific.
Not a specific section, just the section down below. You know,
The
comments section. Yeah. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And honestly, if you have other suggestions, please give us some more suggestions. We do love reacting to these kind of things.
Yeah.
There is a link to our Discord down in the description. Please hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. You'll be notified when our future videos drop. And of course, if you want to support us directly, hit the join button. And with that being said,
My name's Miles.
and my name is Fez.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace
Out.